Alright, so here we are again. Greg's trying to pretend to be sorry. We all know he's not. So, let's see what he has to say about it. Let's just dive right in so this video is not an hour long.
So if you follow me on Twitter, you already saw this coming. I didn't really say I was going to make a video about it, but the things I said on Twitter are probably cheap if they aren't said from me directly in a video, as the videos are the height of my expression and my personal interaction with you guys. So I have a lot to be regretful for. I made a couple videos a little while back regarding an ex, and I have this issue where I will try and demonize people.
No way! We didn't know anything about that. Who would have fucking known that Greg has an issue with demonizing people?
And when I say demonize, I mean focus on the worst parts of them. When I feel like I've been let down by them. You've seen me do this to ex-friends, and you've seen me do this to ex-girlfriends. This is so incredibly destructive and immature and pathetic of me to do. I don't know how I've been able to do it for so long, because it's incredibly shameful.
So, my answer to your question here of how you've been able to continue doing this up until this point is that you've never had to face any real consequences for it before. By which I mean that people have called you out for demonizing your exes, people have brought it up before, and people have shown serious concern with what you do, but it's never happened to this degree. There's never been a hashtag before. There's never been a 2,000 signature petition to get him off of YouTube before. It's never been this big. And lately, when you look in the comments of Greg's videos and the replies on his tweets, the response is overwhelmingly negative. Even his fans lately have been telling him to shut the fuck up and stop talking about this. Regardless of whether or not they're angry with him, they're tired of it. Because it's been going on for so long, it's been the same for so fucking long. He's never made a video like this before because he's never gotten this kind of response before. It also obviously doesn't help that Billie herself has a following of over 100,000 people. It doesn't help that Ayala has a considerable following as well as a music career. Greg is sorry because he has to be. He's not sorry he did it, he's sorry he got called out. He's sorry that people are railing on him and his wife. Back in January of 2016, when Cuddlegate happened, the internet came down on Billie for being a homewrecker. Now, I Stand With Billie is blowing up, and he's scared. That's what this is about. He's sweating. He's already got that shit with the underage girls on his back. Now he has to deal with this. So to anybody who actually believes that this is some sort of redemption, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's sorry for this particular thing, because there are still 100 other things that he's not sorry for, he's never said he was sorry for, and he'll never say he's sorry for. He's not sorry that he put pictures of 13-year-old girls up on his website. He's not sorry that he's married a 17-year-old and dated a 16-year-old. He's not sorry that he ran his ex-wife off of the internet, or that he suicide baited her into stopping the alimony payments. If he's sorry for demonizing these women, then good, but he's not sorry for anything else, and as such, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
And I've had this thing where for a long time, I've thought that the most important thing was who's right and who's wrong, who has the facts on their side and who doesn't.
So, even when he's claiming to be apologetic for demonizing people, he demonizes them. Did you hear what he just said? He said that he thought what was the most important was who had the facts on their side and who didn't, which implies that he always has the facts on his side.
And when things end, that's all I care about. That's all I cared about. It was just that one thing. And the problem is that we're human beings. And I'm treating us like we're robots. Robots communicate in binary. So it's either yes or no, right and wrong. I've had this problem my entire life, as long as I can remember. where I'd have girlfriends I used to date tell me, you know, the world isn't black and white. And I would just keep saying the same stuff I've always been saying.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that people have been saying this to you for years. Everybody, we've been saying this for months, that the world isn't black and white. You can't have these black and white moralities. Everybody's been saying this. But now that you're getting railed on because you released private information about your girlfriend, now you're sorry, now you believe the world isn't black and white. Fuck you, okay? It's such bullshit. It's such pandering bullshit. I don't believe for one goddamn second that this man actually feels a single modicum of remorse. And if I'm being frank, every bit of this shit reads manipulation. Did you guys know that Greg has a cold right now? I know he sounds like he's about to cry, but no, he has a cold. And maybe that's not part of his master plan, alright? You can't control when you get sick. You can't control when you have a cold. But he definitely went with it. He rolled with it. He is purposely using that to his advantage. The fact that his voice sounds raggedy and he's sniffling, that's because he has a cold. He's not sad. He doesn't feel remorse. Only a master manipulator could manage to use a cold to their advantage.
I've been very self-righteous. I've been very egotistical, despite claiming that I have no ego.
True.
I've been a massive dick.
True.
And while I continue to grab on to the concept of honesty as much as I can, that's not an excuse for the things I've done.
True.
I've made a few bullet points regarding things I want to talk about in this video. The first is secrets that I should not have shared because they were not mine to share. So someone had this knowledge that they encountered people who were horrible. And then they said to me privately and then later publicly that I am the worst person they've ever met. And I was so offended by this that I went ahead and shared with everybody who exactly they had met before and who exactly they were saying I was worse than. Thing is, the people that they had met before had influenced them on a horrific level personally. And that individual didn't want people to know about what they had gone through. And I have this position where I've shared all my secrets with the public, so I don't understand people who don't share their secrets with the public.
I am so sick of this nasty, bad foundation motherfucker pleading ignorance to every fucking issue. I didn't know Greg wanted to have sex with Billy exclusively. I didn't know Billy didn't want me to share this personal information. Yes, the fuck you did, okay? Yes, the fuck you did. Shut the hell up. You know, and it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if you're used to sharing your personal information. You should know better than to share other people's information. Isn't it fucking funny how there have been times where you haven't shared personal information? There have been times where you've kept other people's personal information a secret. But this time, this was the time where the lines were blurred. This was the time where you didn't know whether it was okay or not. And even if you did think that it was okay to share this information, sharing it in a negative light the way you did was completely unacceptable. You didn't share this information innocently. You shared it as a means of demonizing her. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you plead ignorance or not, because what you were doing was still malicious and hateful and awful. If I'm being perfectly honest, any type of defense that you have for yourself is invalid, because you still did the shit.
Because I'm not afraid of who I am. Like, I've shared the fact that my father's an accused child molester. I've shared the fact that I beat up my father and was thrown in juvenile hall. I shared the fact that I was physically abused as a child in violent ways. I shared the fact that I even kissed my cousin, and that's embarrassing as fuck. I kissed my cousin at a slumber party. They were sleeping, or I thought they were sleeping.
What the fuck? Oh my god. He just admitted to sexually assaulting his cousin. And I know, a kiss doesn't seem like sexual assault, but without consent, holy shit, yeah, you kissed your cousin who you thought was sleeping? What the fuck is the matter with you? You're even more fucked up and warped than I thought. Even as a kid, he was doing this shit, kissing people without permission. His own cousin. That's assault, dude. That's assault, dude. Oh my god, it just keeps getting worse.
They weren't. But the point is, I did these things, and I've always been honest about them. And so I look at other people and I think, why do you have secrets? And I took someone's right to their secret away from them. They trusted me not to share it with everyone. They didn't have to say, don't share this with everyone. It was pretty obvious that I probably wasn't supposed to share it. And I did anyway. And that hurt them on a horrible level. And this is coming from the person who said, I said, you betrayed us. And they said, LOL. And I said, you lied to us. And they said, be mad. And that seemed like a sociopath thing to do. But they later on apologized.
Really? Because Billy said on Twitter that the reason she said be mad was that you were shaming her for having sex. And I fully believe that, honestly. Notice how Greg always says that people he's wronged have apologized to him. He claims that Adrian apologized to him after he made that video about her nethers and asked to be his friend. This is consistent with Greg. He always says that they apologized. For what? What did they apologize for? A lot of people apologize for things they are not really sorry for when they're getting mass amounts of hate. For instance, you're apologizing for something you're not sorry for because you're getting a mass amount of hate. Huh. That point came full circle, and I didn't expect it to.
And yet that same incident kept playing in my mind again and again. So I used that to justify my own cruelty, my own lack in composure and withholding information that could hurt them. I just let it all go because I felt insulted, I felt attacked, and I could have approached that in a totally different way. And saying I'm sorry doesn't make up for it. It's way too late for I'm sorry. I can't even take down the videos because people just re-upload them.
It's not too late for I'm sorry, actually. You could still say it. I mean, even if it won't make up for it, you could still say it. And I'm sure you would if you were, but you're not. That's the thing about Greg. He finds these loopholes so that he doesn't have to apologize. He doesn't have to take responsibility, but he seems like he is. For instance, whenever he says that taking down the videos is stupid because they just get uploaded, so what? Who cares? They wouldn't be on your channel anymore. You could file copyright claims. You could make sure they don't get reposted. You wouldn't be making money off of them anymore. So why don't you take them down anyway? Is it because you're not really sorry and you don't really care? You changed the title of your 35-minute long video about Billy to "This video was a mistake. Please watch I Can't Do This Anymore" by Onision Speaks. Do you think that's not going to draw more attention to that video? Because now people are going to want to know what you said in it. The decent thing to do would be to take that shit down, but you won't because you're not sorry. You love drama. You love attention. You love getting your way. You love making your exes look like gutter shit. And you love making money off of other people's grief. So you're not going to take the video down. The only reason you're feigning this apology right now is so people stop and leave you alone. And what you've neglected to realize and mention is that we're not only angry about this. This isn't all about Billy. This isn't all about this one instance. You're an abuser through and through. Every bit of you is abusive. Everything you do is calculated, manipulative. It's not just you trying to get back at them for hurting you. You're abusive. That's why people are angry. You're abusive, you're sexist. Are you going to apologize for the video you made towards Blair White? Are you going to apologize for having 13-year-olds in your videos? Are you going to apologize for any of it? Because apologizing for this one thing, if it made up for anything, would only make up for this one thing. Not all of it, not the rest. We're angry about your entire lifestyle. This wouldn't be happening if it was just this one thing.
So there's nothing I can do at this point except for just feel like I'm a total piece of shit for what I said. And nobody's perfect in this situation, but I don't want to act like that diffuses how fucked up I am. If anybody out of the three of us is even remotely decent as a human being, it's Lainey.
Of course, of course. Lainey's the victim. It's always Lainey. Poor Lainey. Poor Lainey. Lainey's the only one who did nothing wrong in this scenario. Oh, Lainey. Poor thing. She's completely innocent. The funny thing about this video is that he claims that he feels bad for demonizing Billy, but he continues to demonize Billy subtly. He called her sociopathic. He's saying Lainey's the only innocent one. And he knows how his fans will take this. He knows that they'll all comment about, "Oh, Greg, seeing you hurt like this makes me feel so bad. I almost cried watching this video." Let's take a look at the first comment, eh? Says something like, "OMFG, this actually made me sad, just the tone of his voice, ... So again, he knows that this is going to produce that type of response. That's why he's making this video. He's trying to produce sympathy for himself, not sympathy for Billy.
Because she didn't take part in this trying to make the other person look bad. She didn't reveal a bunch of personal information. Both myself and the other person released stuff that probably weren't the best things to be shared with the public.
Yeah, and Billy released those things in response to you releasing all of her personal information. Don't try to act like what she did is on the same level as what you did. It's not. You released her personal information before she even spoke a word about this publicly. She released those text messages because you wouldn't leave her alone. You wouldn't leave Ayala alone. Ayala made a video crying, begging you to leave her the fuck alone. She had to threaten you with a restraining order just to get you to stop mentioning her and spreading her personal information. So to say that releasing some text messages and explaining the context of the be mad text is as bad as you releasing personal information about Billy, her exes, the fact that she smokes weed, that's completely out of bounds. It's not the same. You fucked up. Don't try to pretend that she's on the same level as you. I'm sure that she could release some frightening information about you and your lifestyle. She could probably release pictures of your children if she wanted to, and she hasn't. But if I were her, I might. And maybe that's horrible and vindictive of me. Maybe that's spiteful. So maybe I wouldn't do that to your kids. But I would certainly be telling people a lot more than Billy is. I would certainly be going out of my way to find every piece of dirt on you I could and showing it to everybody. Because at this point, it's warranted.
We did it anyway. And, not everybody was exactly unbiased in their sharing of that information, because the information was shared in a way that would hurt the other person rather than a way that was without an agenda.
You see what he's doing here? You see what he's doing? This isn't an I fucked up video, this is a we both fucked up video. He's trying to seem like he and Billy are on the same playing ground, when they're not. Not only in the fact that Billy didn't release extremely personal information about you that didn't involve your relationship, but she has 100,000 person YouTube following and you have over 2 million. No matter what, your following is enormous. Your fans are fucking insane. And they'll go out of their way to expose and fuck over almost anybody as long as they've crossed you. Look at what the fuck is going on with EO right now. They had to turn off Anon because your pasty ass and your nasty wife accused them of catfishing you on Twitter with no proof and no way of justifying it. You made a blind accusation, and it's fucking over an innocent person. You're supposed to be Mr. Evidence. You're supposed to be Mr. Honesty. Where's your evidence? Your fans have sent rape and death threats to children in the past. They've sent rape and death threats to women in the past just for making videos about you. And whenever you're contacted about this, whenever people tell you to tell them to stop, you say it's not your problem. Guess what? It is your fucking problem, you criminally negligent piece of shit. If someone did do something to somebody in your name, you would be charged because you never told them not to do it. You never told them to stop. Your fan base gives you an inhuman amount of power. And I know that you understand that power and that you use it to your advantage constantly.
I'm sorry, I have the flu, as you guys know, so trying to maintain myself. Anyway, so I guess that's actually it. I'm supposed to talk about the secrets that I shared that were not mine. I'm supposed to talk about how we're so fucking wrong, both of us, about how Lainey is the only decent person in the situation.
Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear that? Hear what he just said? Lainey is the only decent person in the situation. Again, with that subtle demonizing, you may be trying to pretend that you're not demonizing Billy, but even just by saying that she's a bad person, you are. Putting her on the same level as you're demonizing her. Why don't you just admit that you all made mistakes and leave it at that? Why didn't you just quietly break up? You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to show your entire following personal information about Billy. You didn't even have to tell anybody you guys broke up yet. You didn't need to do this. Like, you're admitting it at this point. You're admitting that it wasn't about the lying. You just had your ego bruised. So you purposely leaked information that you knew would hurt her. And yet, earlier on in the video, you said you only released the information because you didn't realize that it was sensitive. This video is like 11 minutes long. I've only seen 6 of it, and already you're contradicting yourself up the ass.
And how focused I am on proving that other people are wrong because I'm self-righteous. So, what am I going to do about this? How am I supposed to actually have any of the words I'm saying mean something? Well, as you know, I'm a well-known person for my drama. It's not what I'm most well-known for.
It is. It is what you're most well-known for. Your drama is definitely what you're most well-known for. If you look up Onision on Google, I'm pretty sure the first thing that comes up is Onision, YouTube's perfect villain. You are most known for your drama, Greg. Even PewDiePie only knows you for your drama. Nobody gives a shit about you for your comedy except for your stupid fans, and even most of them are here as a result of or for your drama. There was a time where you were the most well-known for the banana song. And then you started your Speaks channel, and that all went out the door.
As far as video views go, but if you talk to people, a lot of people will say, oh, it's that dramatic guy, I hate him. It's not even an exaggeration.
Good.
I hear that a lot. What I'm going to do is never, ever again discuss my friendships, my other relationships in a negative way to the greatest extent I can manage.
You say this about people you're in relationships with, but what about people you're not in relationships with? Because 15 hours after you posted this video, you made another one demonizing somebody in public, letting your fans go after her. If you really meant this shit and you really weren't gonna demonize people anymore, you wouldn't demonize anybody. It wouldn't just be about your fucking girlfriends and your friends. This is also calculated.
Never again. Never. And this is a big, bold thing to say, especially considering a lot of you feel I'm successful only because of drama. But if I don't keep this up, then I'm letting you guys down, and I'm breaking a promise to all of you. So, that's it.
Okay, so you're not gonna have drama with people you're involved with, but what about everybody else? Because again, 15 hours after you posted this video, you posted more drama about your wife getting catfished, in which you falsely accused people who have been threatened and had their children threatened by your fans in the past. So in your words, it's a big, bold move to give up your drama, but you're only giving up a small part of it, aren't you? Because your entire life is dramatic. You don't have to be involved with a person personally to have drama with them. You know that very well.
I quit drama for the most part.
You hear that? For the most part, you guys? That's his out. That's his way of not looking like a liar if he does have drama. This is what Greg does. Everything he does is calculated. Everything he does is manipulative. He manipulates his words. He manipulates his actions. He wants to make sure that it's okay for him to have drama, even though he said he wouldn't. Just like he wanted to make sure there was a way for him to manipulate the basement chaining scandal. He made it about sex so that he could deny that it was abusive. He gives himself outs. He foresees every possible outcome and makes sure he has a way to get to all of them.
No more friendships, no more relationships. If I have an issue, it's going to be handled privately. I want to thank the people who disliked my video. And I know that sounds really weird, but the people who disliked that first video I uploaded, the Dear Ex-Girlfriend video, I appreciate the people who stood by me in the sense that you guys were loyal, but we were wrong. I mean, we had the facts, but we didn't have the decency.
Hear that, guys? Hear what you just said? We had the facts. So he's making sure that you guys know that he was technically right. Technically he was right, but he wasn't morally right. Keep that in mind.
We had no decency at all. It was just brutal and cold, and the things I've said about her. It's like I took the truth and I made it as ugly as fucking possible. I just covered it in absolute shit and then sent it out. And, you know, you can make most anyone look bad and still be honest. Like, I could tell you I'm a filthy, disgusting creature because I push out horribly wretched, vile waste from my body, but all I'm talking about is going to the bathroom. You know, it's all about how you word things.
To me, that just goes to show how easy it is for Greg to manipulate what he's saying. He's even acknowledging it himself, that he purposely puts certain spins on certain things. And he's done this kind of thing in the past. He's said this kind of thing in the past. At one point, he admitted during a debate live stream that he basically just puts on whatever mask he feels suits him the best that day, because if he was the same person all the time, that would be boring. Like, he's admitted on multiple occasions that he's manipulative and that he purposely changes the connotations of things he says in order to get his way. And that's exactly what this video is, too. He's purposely seeming sad. He's purposely demonizing Billy, but in a subtle way. He's not sorry. He doesn't feel bad. Nothing about this is in any way apologetic. This is the equivalent of when someone on Tumblr fucks up, and instead of saying, I'm sorry, that was shitty, they say, oh, I'm a fucking monster. Oh, I'm a piece of shit. Oh, I'm irredeemable and I'll never be good again. I mean, you can manipulate people into feeling sorry for you by pretending to be apologetic. Let's just put it that way. It's all about the tone and the words you use, just like Greg just said.
I could tell you I'm a pervert who looks at total strangers unclothed, and I gawk at them making love to each other and all that stuff. But really, all I'm talking about is looking at porn. We can make almost anything sound way worse than it actually is. And that's just not as honest as it could be. So I think I've lost my right to talk about relationships in a dramatic manner. I think I've lost my right to talk about friendships, etc.
You know what you've lost your right to do, motherfucker? You've lost your right to talk about how honest you are, because you've literally just admitted to the entire internet that you're a manipulative waste of space. You just admitted that you purposefully make things out to be worse than they are. You've just admitted to being manipulative and putting a bad spin on things, which is in and of itself lying. You can lie by omission. You always put your spin on everything. So if I'm being honest, you have no right to call yourself honest anymore. You know what's not honest? Telling your entire following that someone catfished you when they didn't. That's not honest. And presenting it as fact with no basis and no evidence. That's not honest.
And if you see me talking about them in the future, if you see me starting like another drama war with any friend or girlfriend, whatever, just let me know I'm a fraud. Let me know that I made a promise and I broke it, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm promising you guys that I won't break this. If I do break this, I want you guys to pledge to me that you'll unsubscribe from me. And that you'll forget I exist, because I don't deserve your subscription if I can't keep this one promise. Anyway. To the people I've hurt, I'm sorry. I was hurt by some people that I've hurt, but that doesn't mean I can punch back. That doesn't mean I can justify being cruel. Cruelty matched with cruelty, everybody suffers.
Now, you see how he did that? You see how he did it? He's making sure everybody knows that Billy was cruel to him first. Even though everything cruel Billy ever did was as a result of Greg's behavior, and a result of something Greg did, he's making sure that everybody knows that she was cruel to him. He was bad, but she was worse. Don't fight fire with fire. He's basically saying that just because she was worse than him, that doesn't give him the right to be so bad. This is all, again, so calculated.
I need to be the bigger person. And I've failed so many times to be that person. So, I'm very sorry. I'm very ashamed. And I hope you don't forgive me. Because I definitely do not deserve forgiveness. Also, please don't like this video. Okay? Don't act like this is all okay. And, oh, Nision's better now. Let's like this video. He was honest with us. He showed real emotion. Don't. I deserve nothing but dislikes.
This video has 18,000 likes, so that demand, definitely right out the water. Second of all, he made a video similar to this, right after he was caught cheating on Lainey, in which he basically called himself a monster and did all the same shit he's doing now. Every time he fucks up, every time he gets caught, and every time he gets railed on for it, he makes a video like this, in which he calls himself a monster and he pretends to be sorry. And then he's back to the same old shit. He's back to the same old grind. The second this blows over, it's gonna be over. And he'll be able to do it. You know why? Because he produces so much fucking content that this will get buried. This will get buried in it. And people won't know. They won't know about this video. They won't know about his promise to end the drama. He knows that in a few weeks' time, this won't matter. And he'll be right back to shitting on everybody again. Even just hours after this video was posted, he posted the catfishing video. He is cruel. And anybody who thinks he's sorry, keep in mind who this is. Keep in mind how manipulative he is. Keep in mind that the videos about Billy are still up on his channel and they're still monetized. That if he was really sorry, he would remove them. Or at least stop making money off of them. You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry people got mad about it. You're sorry that they're making noise. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video before it gets too long again. I hope I made good points in this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope someone enjoyed this video. Please don't take this guy at face value. Please. He's lying. He's not sorry. Don't believe he is. This is what he does every time he gets caught doing something unsavory. Just don't believe him. And I'll see you guys on the vlog.